For the purposes of current perspective and future reference, I want to explain what, in my opinion, makes a great shooter RPG. To visualize, we can use a structure like the ancient temples of places like Greece and Rome. These temples were simplistic, yet regarded as magnificent. There weren't crazy, spiraling, looping, otherworldly architectural innovations. Sure, they had flair and beauty in the details, which is important for them to have unique value. Still, at the basic level, there is a foundation, column pillars, and a roof. Yes, I know my artistic skill is quite majestic, and there are only 3 pillars here. We'll just imagine this to be a triangular temple. I happen to possess far better analytical and communicative skills than that of art. Let's just move on to the analogy. Buildings are formed from the ground up, so we'll start with the foundational representation of this analogy: core gameplay mechanics. This is the primary contribution of the shooter aspect of the shooter RPG. How you run, how fast you run, what the recoil feels like, the average time to kill, and fluidity of motion are all aspects of a core shooter gameplay. This core gameplay is as important as the foundation to a temple. If a foundation has cracks or other structural faults, then the building will struggle to last through the storms. The storms here being toxic rain and strong gusts of memes, all spawned by community criticism. Similar to a temple's foundation, the core gameplay must be solid and structured. Without that, nothing else about the game will hold up. The RPG aspect of the genre contributes to the 3 major pillars of its temple: activity variety, loot variety, and loot satisfaction. First, players want plenty of things to do to keep interested. Running the exact same mission 1,000 times is like watching paint dry. It's mind-numbing and provides no excitement after the first dozens of completions. The second pillar is similar to the first, except it's on the other end of the game. Once completing activities, players want to have options for what gear to use in the endgame. A fun variety in weapons, armor, and consumables keeps excitement levels high. After all, variety is the spice of life. It doesn't even need to be a perfect balance, especially in PvE. There just needs to be a solid variety of fun, useful items. The third pillar plays off that last point about fun, useful items, the key part being fun. Once you complete the activities and obtain the items, players want the satisfaction of feeling more powerful and doing exciting things with their gear. This gives a feeling of accomplishment and progress to know that all of the time invested was worth it. Nobody wants to spend a season growing a harvest of tofu. Ugh. The roof of this analogical temple is the community, people who enjoy the game. Without a solid foundation and strong pillars, the roof, like the game's community, will crumble and fall. And without a roof, what is even the point of the rest? There is no longer shelter to be provided by the temple. The community is the purpose. Of course, it's good to have all of the neat details and unique flares to the temple. Every temple looking the same would be incredibly bland and uninteresting, even if the temples are fantastically constructed. Things that keep the temple from being bland and uninteresting are qualities like, is jumping a mechanic? Is it a sci-fi, traditional fantasy, modern day, or other cosmetic setting? What is the lore or story to give purpose to these characters? The flavorful designs of the temple are certainly needed for this reason. People do like shiny things after all, though it's important to be secondary to the structural integrity of everything else. Nobody really cares about a bunch of beautiful pieces of rubble. At the end of the day, it's still a pile of rubble. The temple must stand strong first and be beautiful second, in that combined, necessary order. Once constructed, even the best of temples must be well kept. Colors must be redone, cracks filled in, sometimes even the floors must be refinished, or in extreme cases, even replaced. Once the signs of those cracks, faded imagery, or creaking sounds are found, the architects and groundskeepers need to make sure the proper repairs and improvements are made. Similarly, consistent patches and qualities of life updates must be applied to the games, this including also more content provided. If not done properly and in a timely manner, the roof or community may fall. If that happens, a new building typically must be made. Not only that, but the architects lose credibility. You wouldn't hire an architect known for falling roofs, would you? I hope to see plenty of strong, beautiful shooter RPG genre temples in our future. I'd love to see your thoughts on the temple analogy in the comments below. I'd also love to see what your favorite interesting temple quality is. Personally, I really enjoy being able to jump. As always, thanks for being you, and thanks for watching.